What is up, scent heads, smell beast, and frag freaks? It's your boy. My name is Mega Dave, and today, Lamal is back. That's coming up next, and this is Mega Dave's Faves. Yo, what is good, Fave fam? For everybody returning, I want to say thank you so much for being a Favy baby. It really means a lot. And if this is your first time here, welcome. As I said before, my name is Mega Dave, and this is my channel, Oh So Fresh, and this is my series, Mega Dave's Faves, and I do reviews on fragrances that I absolutely love. And I hope that you love them too. If you do, give me 2 huge, fresh thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoy the content. Also, think about subscribing and hit me decent right there in the old bell end. That lets you know when I'm uploading new content, because who knows, it could be your favorite fragrance that I review next. Today, we got something from Jean Paul Gaultier. You've probably seen it on a lot of other people's channels. I finally got my hands on it, flew it over from Italy, smuggled it in a bird's ass, got it here, ready to review it, so let's get it. All right, so the fragrance that we got, obviously, is a 2020 release. Most people know Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Mal. The blue bottle, lavender, mint, very good. Reformulated about 10,000 times. This is the Parfum version that was released this year. Very sleek, supposedly powerful. So really is it? Le Mal, Le Parfum. So most people know the sleek bottle, and yeah, he did gyrate his hips at you guys, but the same silhouette bottle. I just got the 75 ml. I got too many fragrances. I don't need all these big ones, but such a sleek bottle. When you look at it, and as I get into the notes here, you're going to understand what I mean, but it looks and smells just like this. So what it looks like is what it smells like. A little deeper, a little bit darker, has some shiny bits to it as well, has a little dangle, and yeah, he just throws. I can't. Dude, you ain't putting no damn gyrating hips in front of me with a little bulge and say I'm not going to point it out. So it is what it is. But let me shut up and get to why you guys all came here and get to the scent breakdown. All right, I got my Le Mal Le Parfum, and of course, the other gyration, handy dandy fresh strip, and we're going to put him to paper. They ain't playing no more. Wow. All right. So it's kind of like, for those that have smelled Le Mal and Ultra Mal, so it has that same vibe where some of them go in a different direction. This has that Le Mal vibe. Almost the way it opens is just sexy cardamom. It almost has like a 1 million type vibe to it. It's cardamom and vanilla. It's spicy. It's very, very sexy. Definitely meant for 1 or 2 seasons. But man, that opening, it's kind of like an adult version of Le Mal. The Le Mal, Ultra Mal was more for clubbing. This one can still probably get away with it, but definitely much more adult version, much more sophisticated, if you will. Very, very sexy, oriental for sure. As we start getting down to the mid, some more of that classic Le Mal that we know, that lavender that's in there, is pushing through. We do have some more mint. So it still does have characteristics from Le Mal, because it still is a flanker. I know Eau Fraiche, Superman, Popeye, all those, they kind of have a little vibe to it, but they kind of take their own direction, where this, perfect for the weather that we got coming up. The lavender there, still very sexy, very powerful, very creamy. With that vanilla, now it's mixed in with the cardamom, so it's very spicy. It's got a little bit of sexiness to it. Just done extremely well. Something I'm very, very proud of. Now, I know a bunch of people have reviewed this, especially some of the upper tier dudes. I tried not to watch anybody's because I don't want to sway, but I'm sure probably most of us are saying exactly the same thing. It's a spicier Le Mal. It's definitely much more refined, even though it does have some playfulness to it and it still is pretty powerful, but just that spicy is kind of hard to get past it. And it's actually a very good thing. All right, as always, I wear every single fragrance. This one, especially today, you can see I got a little hoodie on, a little chilly outside, even though we're still kind of in summer, but it's rainy and crappy. So this is perfect for the stuff that we got outside. It's been on here for quite a bit of time, to be honest with you, but I get some vanilla. I get a lot of woods from this. And then the main thing I get is more spices. I think the note breakdown said Oriental spices. You can definitely pick that up. This is an Oriental fragrance. It still does have, especially in the mid, you get a touch of that fougere. So it's a spicy fougere-ish type. It's not barbershop, but kind of is because it does have the traditional stuff that's in it. The lavender's here. I do probably pick up a little bit of oak moss or patchouli. Some earthiness is down towards the base when it completely dries down. But overall, this is a spicy, sweet, sexy fragrance. All right, so my synopsis for this is it's kind of like a cross between Ultramal and Le Male. So you get some of that sweet bubblegummy, but not technically bubblegummy. Like I said, this is a little bit more refined, a little bit more adult, but it does have some sweetness to it. It has that spiciness to it. It has a little bit of this usefulness, just a little bit. Because of what it can do, a lot of people will probably find this okay. It's not a grandfather scent. So I can see a vast majority of people wanting to rock this, especially for fans of Le Male and Ultramal. This is gonna go right on your shelf. It's gonna sit probably towards the front. I do think Ultramal is just a little bit better for me. I like it just a touch more. The sweetness to it definitely adds a little bit of something to it, but this here is a beautiful rendition, probably number 2. I think this is better than Le Male, at least the newer versions for sure. The older ones could be debated. Maybe one day I'll do a Le Male versus Ultramal versus Le Parfum to see which one it is, but I think personally like Ultramal is just a touch better, but this definitely not a bad one at all. Now, who, what, when, where, how, why, all of that. So who can wear this? Male. Okay, it's called Le Male, made for men, at least in my opinion. I do know some ladies that like to wear Le Male, Ultramal. If that's you, please wear what you love and love what you wear. But I do think this is designed, like the bottle, to be a male fragrance. All right, now when to wear this thing? Definitely cooler months. Fall, for sure. Winter, for sure. Depending where you live, you can pull it off in spring, probably towards the tail end of winter going into spring, depending where you live, of course. Now, if you live in a cooler climate, you can get it a little bit more. Hot climates, this may be not for you, especially during the summer, spring months, and maybe towards the tail end of fall, because it can be cloying because of the spices. So the same places that you're putting the one from Dolce & Gabbana, 1 million, already put in Ultramal, Le Male, things like that. This is the same place that you want to put that, but this is just a little bit heavier, so definitely good for night times for cooler weather. All right, now, where to wear this thing? Definitely think this is a super sexy date night fragrance. This is meant for outdoor events where you want to radiate because this thing does have some very good projection, okay? So outdoor events, dates, I think this thing will be beautiful as well. It does have this sexy, sweet Oriental type vibe to it. So I think it's beautiful for dates as well. You could put this clubbing if we ever can put our mask on and go getting back to it. This would be beautiful for that. Even though I think this isn't technically for me a clubbing fragrance, this is going to push. This is sweet. It's going to project. It's going to get you noticed. So you can definitely put it for that as well. But I do think date nights, outdoor events, things like that, beautiful. All right, now how to wear this. I did a typical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 on the wrist with a light dab for 6. And with that, I got about 10 hours, just a little bit past it, of longevity on the skin. On clothing, it's going to last absolutely forever. You do get about 1.5 hours, 2 hours of push past fingertips, probably beyond that. So I did my sillage test that I did, and it's definitely got some good sillage to it as well. But projection, probably about arm's length or a little bit past it, okay? Now, I'm yet to see how it's going to last in the real bitter cold because we don't have it here yet, but the weather that I have had and that I've tested it in, definitely holding up just fine in the 50s to 60s that we've had the last couple days. It's going to be beautiful. All right, we got that out of the way. Now let's get to the fresh score. As always, I take the fragrance and put it in 7 categories with a max of 35 points. And those categories are packaging, sprayer, originality, performance, value, versatility, and of course the whopper, compliments. All right, now start out with packaging. Now this could be subjective because this is the same exact packaging as every other Jean Paul Gaultier. So the can has the name, everything, really cool. Top lips off, of course. He sits there. You gotta love the cradle for the package, just perfect. Sits there extremely tight. So this sits, I don't know a ton of people that keep these. I usually keep them like this because it saves a lot of space because he's sleek. Definitely been hitting the gym. Abs aren't as pronounced, so he could probably use a little bit of cutting, but other than that, bulge is looking good. The top is nice. So very distinct, Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male type bottle. So the packaging isn't nothing crazy, but it definitely, to me, stands out, especially because I've been collecting it for a little while. The Jean Paul Gaultiers mean a lot for me. So 4 points. All right, now getting into sprayer. Sprayer, very, very good distribution, very wide spray, very powerful spray, and definitely puts that fragrance on you. So you don't need a ton of sprays with this thing because it completely saturates you definitely in a few different sprays. So 5 to 6, like I said, beautiful on this fragrance, and that's putting a lot of juice on your body. So for the sprayer, 4 points. All right, now getting into originality. It's Le Male, but it's kind of not. It's not ultra male, but it kind of is. That makes sense. It's definitely a good blend. It does have some originality, so it's not going to be at the bottom end of the spectrum, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing brand new from Jean Paul Gaultier. So it's kind of like right there in the middle. So I'll give it 3 points. All right, so performance. I got pretty stellar performance out of this. I do expect in the cold, maybe it could dip down just a little bit. Some people, this may be beyond the 10-ish plus hours that I'm getting. Now, that was just one testing. As I've multiple tested it, I'm going to test more and more and more. But I do think it's going to be kind of where it's at, around the 10-hour range. Some people are going to get better, like I said. Some may be a little bit worse, but definitely a solid 4 points for the longevity, for the performance, because it's pretty solid. All right, so getting into value. Now, value, again, very subjective. You can choose how you want to, but this is going to be right around the same range as every other Ultra Male, Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male, that type of bottle. So at the time of recording, when I got this, I did have to pay a little premium from Italy to get it over here early, whatever. But I do think it's going to be 75 euros, $80, something like that. Brand new launching. And then once it gets to the discount websites, I did see it on Fragrance Buy. It's sold out from the time that I recorded this, maybe back, but I think it was something like $72. So for 72 bucks, less than $1 ml, because this was a 75 ml. The value is astronomical, especially you're getting 10 hours of fragrance, a perfect 5. It's going to be very hard to beat that type of value because it's less than $1 a milliliter and you don't have to put very much on. All right, getting into versatility. Now, again, this could be different for you. If you're in hot, you may get less. And I do think this is where this lacks, okay? Now, Le Male isn't really meant to be a summer fragrance. That's why they got Eau Fraiche, Popeye, all of them. This one, a little bit lower end of the spectrum, but you can get away with fall for sure all day long, winter all day long, and depending where you live, you can pull it off in the spring. Because of that, I'm only going to give it 3 points. Now, that being said, if you live up north, you may get a little bit more wear out of it. If you live south, you may put it as a 2. So it's up to you, but for me, 3 points. All right, and something this does extremely well is push out. This thing gets you noticed. It's going to get you compliments. For compliments, almost a perfect 5, but I have to leave a little bit of room for some people that may not feel this, but the spiciness, the sexiness of it is very undeniable. It's amazing. So for that, it gets 4.5 points. All right, we take our little computer in our head and we got 27.5 points. Amazing, especially for this value-friendly price. I think the price is going to be extremely well. A lot of people, once they finally get their hands on it, are going to be talking about it. Now, if you don't like Le Male, don't get this, okay? If you don't like Ultra Male, don't get this. Yeah, it's synthetic, okay? It has that to it. It's lavender, it's all of that. If you're thinking it's going to be some groundbreaking thing from Jean Paul Gaultier, it ain't that. This is in my opinion, improved Le Male and almost on par with Ultra Male with some spices to it, okay? So that's what this is. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I ask you to continue to be blessed and stay fresh.
We got shorties on the floor. We got niggas by the bar. We got sick. We got just dropping they battle. Keep popping them bottom. We got 'em. Yeah, we got 'em.